Congratulations on the purchase of your SolAire 317 BHSK. My name is Russ. I'm going to do your orientation with you today. We're going to start off with a little bit of maintenance you want to do on this. Recommend a couple times a year at least. We'll start with your roof and the top of your slide outs. They are rubber membrane, so you want to treat those with a rubber roof cleaner and conditioner. It's an all-in-one product. You just simply get up on the roof, spray the product on, scrub it in, and then rinse it off. That keeps that rubber membrane from drying out and cracking. While you're on the roof, you want to check around your seals. Check the caulking around your seals. If anything on that rubber membrane needs recaulked, recommend to use a self-leveling lap sealant. You can use regular silicone anywhere else around the trailer. Just use that self-leveling lap sealant for the roof and the top of your slide outs on that rubber membrane. The next item are your seals. So your slide outs have two seals. You have a bulb seal and then a wipe away seal. Wipe away seal wipes the water, moisture away from your slide out when you bring it in. Your bulb seal seals the weather out. There's a product, it's called a slide out seal conditioner. It comes in a spray can. You just spray it on there, it'll foam up, and you sleeve it on. It'll soak into the rubber. Keeps this rubber from drying out and cracking. If this starts to crack, you're going to end up with leaks. So make sure you do that a couple times a year. Your slide outs have rails on them, so where these teeth are here, you want to spray those with a dry graphite grease just as needed. Do not use a lithium based grease because that will collect dirt and sand. It gets all gummed up, so you want a dry graphite grease. Comes in a spray can also, nice and easy to apply. Your tire pressure. There is a sticker on the side of the camper. It's right behind the door here. Shows your tire pressure, 65 psi. You want to make sure you maintain that pressure in your tires. Very important to do. And you also want to grease your wheel bearings. So we recommend every 6,000 miles or 2 years. You simply remove the cap. There's another cap under that, and you have bearing buddies. So put a few squirts of grease in there, or just repack your wheel bearings once a year. That's what is recommended also. Your siding and the graphics on your siding, over time they might start to peel, fade, crack. If you wax this a couple times a year with a regular Carnauba style car wax, same thing you put on your vehicles, that's going to help prevent that. You can get a ceramic coating, which we apply here at TerryTown. We can get you some pricing on that if it's something that interests you. What that is a chemical that's sprayed on, has a bond with your siding, guaranteed to last for 5 years. There's a 5-year warranty with that, so if something did happen to your siding or those graphics in that 5 years, then they'd be replaced. Also applies to your awning. So if your awning starts to fade or crack, it'd be replaced in the 5 years. A little more information on that. So you have your exterior protection here. So it covers all this stuff right here. So if you have fading, water spotting, tree sap, your awning fading, discoloring, cracking, so that's good for 5 years. There's an interior protection as well, and that is also good for 5 years. And that's everything that covers. So if you spill some bleach or something on the carpet, it's going to be replaced. So if that's something that you're interested in, just let us know. We'll get that applied before you even get here. Alright, back to the outside. If you do not get that ceramic coating, you also want to treat your awning. There's an awning cleaner with a UV blocker in it. It kind of works the same way as the stuff for the roof. You just spray it on, scrub it in, and rinse it off. Just make sure whatever awning cleaner you get, it has that UV blocker. And that is your maintenance. So we're going to start with the orientation. We'll start right up here in the front. You do have a brand new deep cycle marine battery. There's room for another one if you want. You have two full 20-pound propane tanks. Electric tongue jack. Up and down with this button, and then this is your lights. If this were to fail for some reason, take this rubber cap off. There's a tool inside the compartment, and you can manually crank this up or down. You do have stabilizer jacks on all four corners. That's used just for stabilizing, not for leveling. So once you get the coach leveled, then put your stabilizers down, help keep it from bouncing around inside. That is your power cord. You do have a 50 amp service. You can use an adapter that comes with this, 50 down to 30 adapter, if you don't have the 50 amp plug. Your doors slam latches with the magnets there to hold your doors up. Right here, if you're rustic camping, simply fill up your fresh water tank and turn your water pump on. Then you have water pressure that way. If you have full hookup camping, hook a garden hose to that, and then you have the pressure through that garden hose. Do not use both at the same time. If you run the water pump with pressured water through a hose, you could burst your lines, so be careful of that. Do recommend to use a water pressure regulator if you're using city water. Anything over 50 psi, you could burst your lines. Water pressure regulator will help keep you from doing that. If you do fill that fresh water tank and you need to empty it, right down here, that is your drain. So we're going to move towards the back between the slide outs here. So right here, these are inputs for cable or satellite. Right here you have your light. This is a switch on the bottom. Your plug goes here. Outdoor shower, hot and cold water. And then your water heater. Your water heater is gas or electric. Inside the coach there is a switch for the gas portion. If you want to run electric, turn this switch right here on. This is your plug right here. It's an anode. This will need to be replaced every couple years because this will start to deteriorate. But when you're ready to use it, slide that in there, screw it in, and then you'll just fill your water heater and you're ready to go. So right down here, this is where all the fun happens. You do have a couple tanks down here, a couple different spots where you're going to empty. So you have a gray handle, that's a gray tank. Black handles, black tank. Black is your toilet water, gray is dirty sink and shower. Right over here, this is another gray tank. This is just for your kitchen. So you have a gray tank for your kitchen, gray tank for everything else. So simply hook your hose up right there, take that cap off, hook your hose up, that goes to the septic, pull that black handle, let the black tank empty. Once that black tank is empty, then pull the gray handle. That gray dirty sink and shower water is going to help wash that hose out. Once you're done with that, close the gray tank, leave the black open. And right here, you're going to hook up a hose. This is your black tank flush. Hook a hose up to that. It's like an upside down sprinkler system, and your black tank is going to help flush it out and clean it. All right. Move along to the back here. You do have a spare tire, same as the tires that are on it. Spot for your license plate. You can store your wastewater hose right inside your bumper. Just remove the end cap, slide it in, put the cap back on. Up here you are pre-wired for a backup camera or an observation camera. It's 4 screws and 1 plug is all it takes. A screen comes with the backup camera and it goes into your vehicle. So if you want to see what's behind you while you're traveling and you want to get the observation camera, it comes in handy. Right down here you have low point drains, so a red and a blue, and there are levers on there. So those are the lowest points in your lines. So if you want to open those up, and it'll empty all the water out of the lines inside. So 3 places you want to empty water from is your low point drains, your fresh water tank, and your water heater. Right here, this is for your grill. So your grill is going to mount onto here. Just pull this pin and this will swing around. That way you can use this with the rest of your outdoor kitchen. Your refrigerator outside, this is electric only. It has to be plugged in for this one to work. It does not run off of gas. A couple drawers here, storage. This sink goes right into one of your gray tanks. You have a light up there. The button for the light is on the top of it. It's right up top here. You can have it on all the time, or you can have it as a motion light. But switch here turns it on or off, but you can decide if you want the motion or on all the time up here. All right. Your back door, this is your bathroom in the bunkhouse. Stairs just fold up. So it's like that, they just rest into place. You do have outdoor speakers, which you can adjust from your stereo inside. You can have a TV out here. Here's your outputs for the TV, a couple plugs. Refrigerator vent. There are screens you can get if you have issues with bugs getting in. There's screens that go right up here. Keep those bugs out because there are holes in here for the ventilation. Furnace vent. This does get very hot, so if you have any kids or pets, if you use the furnace, be careful. They will get burned on it. There are screens for these as well, 2 round screens. I do recommend those. Rodents can get in here, bees can get in there, make a nest. And then up here, this is your refrigerator vent. It has 2 tabs right here. So make sure you just pop those tabs out. If you're going to use that stove vent, make sure that's open. Otherwise, just snap it closed. The light up there. Of course, your awning. It's a switch inside. This is an electric awning. And then your solid steps. So anything that is on your steps when you bring them in is going to end up on the floor inside unless you sweep them off. One very important thing with these steps, make sure your door is all the way open. Otherwise, this guy right here is going to catch onto your screen and it's going to damage it. So you just simply lift it up. It'll snap into place. Just like that. When you're ready to take it down, lever, and just bring it down. If you need to adjust the legs, there are pins on both legs here. You can adjust the legs up or down. And then just close your door once the stairs are in there, and then bring your handle over against the door. And then this is your other side of your pass-through compartments. You will have your hitch put on when you pick the unit up. Here are your tools. There's this switch right here, goes to those lights in the front of the coach. Light right there. And then this is another motion, or you can have it on all the time. This is solar ready, so if you have a solar panel, simply plug a solar panel into there and it will trickle charge your battery. So if you do a lot of rustic camping, it might be a good idea to invest in one of those. And that is the outside of your camper. So we'll head inside. Right inside the door is your fire extinguisher. Right next to that, that is your carbon monoxide and LP detector. The green light should be on. If the light is not on, then it's not working. You want to get that checked out. That does bypass any battery shut off. This runs off your battery all the time. So if you're not plugged in, if this is going to sit for a few days or a week, I would unhook that battery or make sure the coach is plugged in. GFI reset plug there. And then right inside the door is your controls. So you have for your awning here, just simply hold the button. If you've never had electric awning, just takes one of you. It's going to come out. You want to take this out until you see a sticker or the valance falls. I'll show you here. So there's your valance, and there's that sticker, and just simply let go of the buttons. In this case, you can see the lights too. If I keep holding the button down, this is going to keep winding. It's going to come back to towards the camper upside down. You can stretch or rip your awning, so be careful of that. This is adjustable. If you want to adjust the pitch, just simply pull the lever down here, and now your awning, it's pitched to one side. You can do this on either side. Just make sure it's back up before you bring your awning in. Back to the controls here. So you can test your tanks. This is your battery, so full battery, freshwater tank, black tank, and then you have 2 grays. This shows 3, but you only have 2. The third is not connected with anything. Right here's your water pump. So if you use that freshwater tank, just turn that pump on, then you'll have water pressure. And this is the gas portion of your water heater. The electric is outside in the water heater. The gas is inside right here. Make sure your propane's turned on and just flip it on and it will light up. This is your awning lights. Porch light, so that's that orange light out here. And then your living room lights. All of these living room lights are on one switch. If you don't want all of them on, they are push button in the center, so you can turn them off individually if you want. And then these two controls, these are for your slides. The one in, this is the one in your bunkhouse. This is the one in your living area. So when it's all the way out and all the way in, you will hear that noise. That is normal. And that is your control panel. So move along over here. You have an extra shelf right here, or extra counter. This right here, this is a drying rack. Sink does come out, has a sprayer on it. Good storage. Your sun. And then your microwave. This is standard microwave, just like at home. Your light, and then that fan, so make sure it's open outside if you use that fan. You do have a glass top here. Just simply fold it up and it'll create a nice backsplash. Just make sure that is down before you travel. This is glass, it will break. And then your stovetop, you have your 3 switches here. So put it on light and then turn this until it lights. Your oven, does not work with the sparker, so just put it on pilot, push that in, and then put a flame right down there to your pilot light. Refrigerator is gas or electric, so you just turn it on here. As long as it's on auto, it's going to run off of power. If you lose power, it's going to switch to propane automatically. You can have this button out right here and have gas only. If this check light comes on, it cannot find your gas, so make sure it's on or full. Leave that off. All your instructions are right there in the freezer. And then in here, you have a sensor right here. So it says colder or warmer. Just make sure that sensor is all the way up. So it's kind of down right here. So now that's, there we go. There it's at the coldest setting. If it gets too cold, just bring that down. If your refrigerator does not cool down, make sure you check that in case that sensor fell down. And then right down here, this is your fuses and your breakers. All your fuses are 12 volt. Your breakers are running off your 50 amp shore power. Thermostat is right here. Power button. We are not plugged in right now, so this isn't going to work. We're running off a battery. But you can decide to have your fan on. You can set your clock. You can program this. Once you set your clock, program it so it'll turn on and off at certain times. So you're going to choose your mode because you have 2 air conditioners in here. So you have zone 1 and zone 2. It'll tell you on the screen. Once you decide what zone, push mode, and it'll tell you if you want air conditioning or heat. So zone 1 should run your air conditioner in the kitchen area and main living area and your heat. Zone 2 will run only the air conditioner